Welcome back to Style of Play Football with myself, Theo, as always. Damon, Kojo, how you both doing, first of all?
All good, man. How are you?
Damon rolled the eyes there. I think that sums up everything we're going to talk about.
I'm still getting over it, to be honest. Give me a few more days.
We're going to get into all of it. We are. If you're new here, if you're new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you like the video. You get involved if you're here as part of the live stream as well. Make sure you get involved in the discussion. And as always, make sure you head over to the audio version, Spotify, Apple Podcasts for the podcast version of this stream. But we are going to be talking Manchester United and Liverpool. But before we do that, I do want to talk quickly about Chelsea. Let's get that out of the way first, because it was another poor performance from Chelsea, wasn't it? It was poor from Maresca in terms of the lineup. It's letting another lead slip away against Palace, same as Fulham. Same thing happened. But Damon, did you see the game? Did you get to see any of the Palace-Chelsea game? Or what was your thoughts?
I've just seen highlights. Obviously, match of the day. I've seen highlights. I thought you started well. You sort of got the goal as well early on in the game, and you sort of dominated the first half. I think you just let Palace come back into it. And I said it on my reaction on Talking Reds, that when you let a team like Palace come back into it, especially away from home, they've got such talented players that they could easily score a goal. Quite similar to the Arsenal-Brighton game. They let them back in it, and that's what happens. They've got talented players to get a goal, and that's what happened. Took a foot off gas. You can't do that in this league.
Yeah, it was difficult. It was a painful one to take, because I think you always feel with Chelsea, especially under Maresca, like recent times as well, we've gone on to score that second goal, scored that third goal, but since before Christmas, that suddenly it's like it stopped. You know, you look back to maybe the Everton game was probably the first one I can think of, and you could see signs were there that we weren't going to be clicking as well as we thought we would. But yeah, the last couple of games, I think that's now might be 16 points dropped, we've gained 2 points out of 16 or something stupid like that. So it just shows we were never really ready for that sort of push for the title challenge, which I've been saying anyway on here. But Kojo, what did you think of the game? Did you think that Maresca got it wrong in terms of the lineup tactically, or is it just a case of, because he keeps bringing out this excuse about, more than one match is now coming up and it's, the fatigue and all the rest of it. But as rightfully pointed out last week, the squad's big enough to cope with that. And let's be honest, we haven't really, we've been playing Conference League football, which isn't that much of a stretch for the club that we've got, the squad that we've got, the size. But do you think it's just a case of, sometimes these blips are going to happen in teams?
I just think it's a bit of complacency. Whether we want to be talking about his decisions to play like this, I see at right back when you've got fit right backs in the squad, or sometimes in games. I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't know if it's just players sort of taking their own initiative and it not working. But for the Palace score in particular, it was becoming a recurring theme before the goal. Having Palmer drop so far back, your biggest threat, your biggest attacking talent, being so far back to receive the ball, and being closed down immediately by 2-3 players, because obviously he's the biggest threat. He scored the goal. He had a good game up to that point. But all these things kind of count against you, and there's kind of things you have to sort of weed out. And I think that's where Palace managed to get their point. They sort of found the weakness in the Chelsea's armour and said, okay, we're going to sort of utilise that and just press and press and press. And that's what other teams have done in previous games as well. So it's a bit of both. The last thing for me is I understand that maybe he is very, very adamant that Chelsea are not ready for a title race, and that's fine. I just don't think these things should be said publicly.
Why not though? Because this conversation keeps coming up.
It's just for me personally, it's just a weird sort of.
What would you say if you was him? That's probably the better question.
Me personally, what I'm saying is my team is trying to win as many games as possible.
But that's what he has said. That's what he come out and said. He said it takes one game at a time.
One game at a time. Yeah, and stop it there. Don't come and now say we're not ready. And then it feeds onto the players. Like, I found it funny the way Palmer sort of nonchalantly said it, but you're like, you might just say you're not ready for a title race. He goes, nah, it's too early. I just walked off. I hear it. But sometimes just be like, we're playing each game at a time and we see where we end up. And that's fine. And end it there. That's what he's saying. Stop it there. Don't come and now say we're not ready for that race, because you don't know or well, I don't know. Us guys here, we don't know what kind of effect it has on other players. For someone like Palmer, if he's very much aware and he agrees with Maresca that Chelsea are not ready, he's still going to go out there and do his thing. If there are other players that are out there on the pitch thinking, we're getting results. Why is he saying that we're not ready? What are we not doing? Before this run.
But the results are showing that now. You see how the results are showing that we aren't ready for it. So he's right in what he's saying.
No, but they're showing it now. I'm saying before this run of form, he was saying it when you guys were getting results. And for me, sometimes if I'm a player, me personally, knowing how I am, I don't know how the characters are in the Chelsea squad. It wouldn't surprise me if a couple of players are like, we're getting results here, boss. So
it's affected the mindset a little bit. Yeah,
that's what it is. I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm just saying...
Amarin came out though and said that United are in a relegation battle. Is that not the same thing? So is that not going to feed into the players' mentality then? That the gaffer's saying we're in a relegation battle here, lad. So
again, he's not going to. Again, I'm not saying he's wrong.
He might have heard them though. He might have heard them.
No, you need to understand. You need to understand the point that's being made here. It's not.
I hear your point. I'm just saying, no, it's the same thing, though.
No, but you're bringing the Amarim relegation thing. Amarim is not saying he's not going to saying that relegation battle thing. Is basically saying, look, we're not far away from it. We're very, very close to it, which is truth, right? Okay, cool. You guys were in a race. Obviously, right now you're just not in it because you've dropped enough points and don't be in it anymore. But in that moment in time when you were there,
you can't say you're in a race in December, though. December's too early to talk about title races, though, isn't it? That's why I think it was pointless asking him, not us, but the press asking him that question, because no one who takes serious thought of a league table in December.
A lot of people. That's why they're asking the question.
It's wrong.
But asking the question, you're there.
No one should look at the league table till I'd say even after these games. See, set FA Cup games and then get into February. That's when you can take the league seriously, really. When you're talking about
again, you say that, but people are already writing off certain clubs and saying they're not in the title race. If City go on a crazy run again and Liverpool drop points out of nowhere, people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, I told you City were never out." But then they were saying they were out. I said they're out. I'll be surprised if they came back. Arsenal, I'll be surprised if they come and catch up to Liverpool already. I already said that I think Liverpool are champions. I think they're champions in Wayne because I think they're gonna just drop less points than any other team. But it doesn't take away from the fact that my point is, I just think. Maybe some of the players heard that whilst they were in good form and thought, that's a bit of a weird thing to say. I don't think he's wrong for saying it. I just think it's a weird thing to say so publicly. Keep that in house and then just deal with it in house. That's what I'm saying.
Do you think it's like the players might be just getting on with it, getting their job done, do a good job, co-pilots play at elite level, and they're thinking, hang on a second, we are in the sort of a little bit of a title race. They might not want to think it, but they probably do deep down. And he's basically gone to them and said, no, you're not that level. Humble himself a little bit.
We don't know if
and elite sportsmen like that, it's hard to take that.
Yeah, but we don't know if he's in the dressing room telling them that they are in a title race. So this is what I'm saying. We don't know.
But we know what he's saying. But he's saying out loud, and that's why I'm putting him up.
Yeah, but he's saying it out loud to calm things down to the fans, which I was trying to say to on here last week. He could be saying that to the fans to calm them down, but in the dressing room, he could be banging on the walls. He could be saying, "Listen, lads, we win this game with 4 points off Liverpool." Or this. He could be saying that in the dressing room, but he's going to keep that in house because he wants to make sure that the players' mentality is focused on that.
I don't agree with his method, but I hear it.
I'm just saying, man.
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it from because now I play football on Saturdays now, and I'm like player manager. I won't go to my players after a few. We won't beat in 3 games. They will lose every game until I took over as manager. No. But unbeaten in 3 games. I'm not going to say you're still shit, guys. You know what I'm saying? You're still shit. Calm down a little bit. Humble yourselves. We're not going. We're going up the table a little bit, but we're still shit.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think I don't see the big thing about it realistically because. Was he wrong? No. Should he have said it out loud? Maybe not, but we don't know what he's saying in the dressing room as well. So he could be saying the whole opposite. And I know managers do that. Managers might say one thing in public and then they're a totally different character in the dressing room. So he could be going in there saying to them, look, make sure you win this game. And I get that from him. I do get that mentality because if you're not training well, you don't play. Like you've seen it with Noni Medwecki. He got dropped. Renato Vega got dropped. They weren't even in the team. So I know that he's ruthless in the dressing room. It's not like he's letting people slack or if they're not playing well, their form dips a little bit, then he might say, oh, you know what, don't worry about it. We're not on the title race. No, if you're not playing well, you're not in the team. You're not even on the bus. You're not even on the bench. So I think he's really ruthless in the dressing room. I think he got sick of, he was constantly being asked this question every single week. And eventually you probably are going to say, you know what, fuck it, no, we're not in a title race, we're not. So he probably just got frustrated. He probably just thought, fuck it, no, we're not.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the answer. But I don't know. But we're not in a title race. That's the big thing. That's the thing. We're not in it, which is good. I don't want to be in it
anymore.
You don't want to drop out of top 4 that quickly, though. You don't want to drop out of top 5. It can easily happen.
Kojo's on banter today, but no, we don't. This is the thing. We don't want to be dropping out there, and it's now where we're seeing these points, costly points being dropped. You know, the top 4 race is going to heat up now, and this is why I say we could never be in a title race, because you're looking at Nottingham Forest, they're still there. Newcastle have come out of nowhere. They're suddenly picking up points and they're back in discussion for that now. So I don't know. I just think we need to survive this mad sort of wobble that we're having, get to the end of the season, get top 4, and then address the certain situations like bringing in a decent centre back, get rid of some of these players like I think Cesare Cassidy's going to Torino, Carney Chukwuemeka's looking to get moved on, Dewsbury Hall's linked with West Ham. Some of these players need to just go now. We need to start reassessing things and bringing in actual key players that we need, like a striker. A goalkeeper has to be key, top of that list in the summer. But we just got to get top 4, man. Got to get top 4. That's all I can hope for. Let's go to the big game though. Let's forget about Chelsea, man. We're small fish. We're small fish in this. Liverpool United. What a game. Let's talk about the game first of all, and then we'll talk about some of the other things and some of the comments after the game. But it was a really good performance, Kojo, from a United perspective. It showed again that there is a level that United can step up to when it matters, and it's a shame that they don't do this more consistently as well. Do you feel like Amarin's slowly getting his, I don't know if his method is the right word, but his ideas correct on the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I keep telling you, Basil, and anyone else that listens to me that I'm not panicking is because I'm confident that he will get his way across with the team, and it speaks volumes that he said that this is his first full week of training. The guy's been here about
2 months.
2 months now.
Yeah, just 2 months.
And it's only been his first full week of training with the squad now, and you can see the differences now. The reason why I'm also saying I'm not going to get carried away is because it's not long ago that we beat City 2-1 at the Etihad.
Yeah.
And people were talking about that being the maybe the chance that he could start turning things around. We went on wretched form after that. Man United, the key things that changed in this game were we had a competent left side. Dalot finally was doing his job on the left side, so it added balance to the attacking side of our team, and he was doing his work defensively as well. That was number 1. Number 2, we had Ugarte back in that midfield, and he does everything in terms of just being the engine in that midfield. He's a disruptor, so he's very key in that. Number 3, because we had a good balance, you didn't see the ball being rushed over to the right side to get to Ahmad as much. So Ahmad was getting in much better positions on and off the ball. And the key factor that I keep trying to drum into people is, if you look at the games that we've had since he's come in, possession is a lot more better in our hands. We create a lot more chances and take a lot more shots in games. And the only thing that had me worried yesterday was Liverpool started a little bit bright. Gakpo had his chance. McAllister had his chance. And then we sort of eased into the game a little bit. Diallo should have done better with the cross from Dalot to the header. Højlund, you have to flip and score this. And when those chances were missed, I had flashbacks to last season and the 7-0, because that's what happened. First 40 minutes, we were in the game. We're doing well. We're creating chances. We're putting them away. Liverpool got 1 goal and it was done. But again, mentality differences. If we went 2-1 behind in this game last season, it's ending 5-6-1, in my opinion. In this game, we went 2-1 down. I hesitated and dropped. It was like, okay, we need to get back control, build up, got a good goal. These are the key differences. Obviously, it does help as well that 8 or 9 of the Liverpool players were not on it. To be quite frank, they just weren't. They weren't on it. McAllister,
the whole team.
McAllister was good. I give McAllister his due. McAllister was good.
I'm joking.
Yeah, McAllister was good. Van Dijk was solid when he needed to be solid. When things came his way, he dealt with it. But the whole rest of the squad were just very off it, and that obviously helps. obviously them conceding 2 goals and not having their best games doesn't speak good for United, but at the same time, they're the team in form, United are the team not in form. So it's a good result, it's a good point. And I'm satisfied. But I'm not getting carried away because, like I said, we beat City 2-1. A lot of people thought that was going to be the change in fortunes. This is a good result, but you now need to bounce back in the next one. So FA Cup, get the win. Southampton at home, my gosh, you better smash them, please. Southampton at home, it has to be a smash. But yeah, I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
I don't think Damon is as happy as you are as United fan.
He's fuming.
He's fuming. What went wrong, Dame? Because obviously, I know Szoboszlai was ill, wasn't he? I don't think he was part of the team yesterday. I'm not saying he was missed, but Curtis Jones didn't have the best game in that midfield yesterday, I don't think. Obviously, they're going to talk about Trent as well. I personally think Trent's been made a scapegoat, not just for this game. I think overall, a lot of things have gone wrong for Liverpool, contracts-wise, in terms of that. But what went wrong for Liverpool? Was it just an off day, a blip?
We weren't up for it. Not from minute one. I mean, to not be up for Man United is a worry. And I think this is a big, big warning now for the season. We could go, it's all been roses. A lot of Liverpool fans don't like criticism on the team and say, no, it's all cracking with this point clear. But we've been playing like this in a few games this season. I'll be absolutely honest with you. And we've been grinding out results through mentality. We've been getting the results over the line. We battered Tottenham, battered West Ham. They're the good games. But a game like this, we need to grind it out. And like you said, everyone across the pitch, bar McAllister, really. Virgil was all right. I thought everyone else, shit. And you can't be shit in this game. No. He mentioned Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones, I didn't even see him. He was that bad. And this is the problem with Curtis Jones. I said it yesterday. Everyone wants him to do well. He plays well in one game, and he's like, yes, this is the level that you can go to. And he doesn't do it enough. He doesn't do it consistently enough. He has games like this where he ghosts. Miss Szoboszlai, but you shouldn't have to miss Szoboszlai against Man United. And that's no offence to Man United. The way they're playing right now, we should have been doing way better. We were shit, and we got a draw. That just tells everything where the difference between Man United and Liverpool right now. But even like going 2-1 up, I was never confident of seeing over the line. I just thought Man United were always in the game. They played really well. I thought they played the best in terms of the first 10-15 minutes. I thought they started much more brighter. Then we started getting chances. I didn't like how aggressive we were going forward. I think it was in the first half. Something really pissed me off in the first half where we were going forward on a break. It was a break on the right wing, and within seconds we ended up back at the halfway line with Carragher on the ball. And it's like, this is a break. I don't know if it's tactics. Is that what Slots tell them to do? Because obviously he's telling them to calm down a little bit. It's a bit more of a slower build up in terms of going forward. And Klopp's like, if you're on a break, go for it. And I don't like that. I saw weakness in Slot yesterday, and I ain't seen weakness in Slot recently. I ain't seen really much weakness in Slot this season. He failed to bring Trent off when they should have brought him off ages ago. And that's not, again, Trent's not a scapegoat here. He was shocking.
Oh, yeah, it was
so
bad.
was everyone else. So was everyone else.
He was bad.
But with 6 points, it's hard though, isn't it? With 6 points clear, and I'm here being pissed off at it. I think it's because it hurts more because it's Man United.
It's the game. Yeah, it's the game.
It is, but absolute missed opportunity for us.
I think it's that as well. I think it's obviously the game, but things can change very quickly in this league. I'm not saying that Liverpool will go on to drop many points, but I just think 6 points with a game in hand as well. We've got to remember that. But we've seen last season, Everton again are a team that can just turn up sometimes when they want to, and if they're on the occasion on the day, if they want it more than Liverpool, they might get a result, and then it is 6 points. And then you look at, dare I say Forest, but if Nottingham Forest continue their form that if they win tonight, for instance, against Wolves, it's the gap's closing. Still.
We've got our game left. We've still got to go to like City. We've still got to play Arsenal. We've got next 2 games of Forest and Brentford away, and they're not easy.
Yeah, well, tough games. But I want to, because obviously I talk to a lot of Liverpool fans. Sometimes when I don't want to, sometimes when I want to, but it is what it is. But a lot of them, it's frustrating, trust me. Some of them, a lot of the time, they're saying things like, and this is before the Madrid bid, so let me get that in before as well. But ever since this whole thing about Trent potentially wanting to lead to Madrid, he's now become the shittest right back in the world, and he's this, he's that, and all the rest of it. And I just feel like a lot of the time, it's the narrative that's been put out there by people that are Liverpool fans, content creators, whatever else. Jamie Carragher yesterday, like I said in the group chat, like just things like that plant seeds in certain people's heads, like fans' heads, and says, oh, actually he's not the best at this, or he's not this, or he's not that, we don't need him. Sometimes I think don't just cut your losses with a player, because I remember when Sadio Mane was leaving Liverpool and everyone was like, oh, we don't really need him anyway. And then as soon as he left, you realise how much you actually needed Sadio Mane. Like, he was a really good player. He went on notice a lot at Liverpool, but then when you didn't have him in the team and he was obviously at Bayern Munich, you noticed how much you needed him. So I'm not saying Trent is the be all and end all at all. I'm not saying, Conor Bradley can't do a job there, because I think I've said on here many, many times before, Conor Bradley's a very good defender. Defensively, I think he's actually better than Trent. But I do think this whole thing about now, because obviously the bid came in, I think New Year's Eve, didn't it, from Real Madrid. Carragher's comments yesterday were fucking shocking, man. They were the fact that he's even allowed still to be on Sky Sports, spitting on a girl's face, all the rest of it. I wouldn't even have him as a Liverpool ledge. I wouldn't even have him as a Liverpool fan, let alone ledge. I'd tell him to stop supporting the club. Like, he's disgraceful. That man is, like, he's got a vendetta when he's got an agenda against someone, you see it, it's clear. He doesn't hide it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what his issue is with Trent. And Daniel Sturridge, credit him, because yesterday he put him on the spot and said, what is it? Is it the 20 mil, or is it the fact that he's going on a free that you don't like? And he didn't even answer the question. But I'm going to come to you first, Damon. What do you think about the whole situation with Trent? Is he being made a scapegoat? He was poor yesterday. Let's not dance around that. He was awful yesterday. But also, surely the club should be doing everything in their power, not just sign him, more so Mo Salah. I mean, why is it different from Mo Salah? Why are people not digging out Darwin Núñez, who's been at the club for 3 years now and hasn't really shown any progress? Why are we still allowing Andy Robertson to get away with poor performances at left back? Why are we allowing the club FSG not to sign Zubimendi, not to sign Moises Caicedo, not to get Jude Bellingham over the line, but to still build a stand and then bring more money into their pockets? They've increased the capacity and filling their pockets, but they're not putting that onto the pitch as well. So what is it? What's going on at Liverpool?
It's narratives, agenda-based. It's all Carragher daren't say a bad word about FSG. Neville's called FSG out on overlap a couple of times. The people that they get on the overlap, they call FSG out. It's all about, you know what, I'll go have this proper conversation about FSG, because I think it's more, there's a big channels out there, isn't there? And they get access to the club. And I get it. I get, like, they daren't call FSG out in case they lose access to the club, and that's, that they've got to make money. That's their families they're feeding. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just think it's the uncomfortable conversation about them, because they did save us technically by buying us, and they brought us Klopp, and they have done some great things. And I'm not agenda pushed here, because I'll praise them for a lot of things, but it's quite clear now, and it's becoming quite clear for me. Quite clear years ago. About 4 or 5 years ago, I wrote an article on it. They don't care about the club. That's and they're happy to let these free contracts go to the last and leave them and let him leave, because Firmino left for free, Enson, Fabinho left for free, Gerrard left for free under them. So they're not asked about keeping players a lot. As long as they can cut costs at any point, and if Salah goes, they won't replace him.
Yeah,
it's alright saying no.
You got to replace Salah. You got to replace us. How many goals and assists? No, they got to. And this is why I can't believe there's not more outrage on the fact that Mo Salah's contract has come to this point. Everyone's focusing on Trent. If I was Trent, I'd be packing my bags today. I'd be saying, Madrid, get me out of it, because Liverpool fans don't actually deserve Trent anymore. They actually don't. I'm not saying it. Like I said, it's not the be all and end all, but the way that they're treating the player that they call one of their own, nah.
I think, Go on, Coach. Go on, mate.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I've got a theory on that because I feel like when a player comes through the developmental and this was one of our own and all this and yeah and all that stuff, when they dare look elsewhere, it's almost like they're committing the ultimate sin, and it's
Yeah.
like there's an idea that if you've come through the system, we've given you everything, so you must stay with us by any means necessary. Newsflash. It doesn't matter who you are. When Real Madrid come calling, they'll do every other tactic in the world. And to be quite frank, when you're a young player growing up from years ago to these days today, Real Madrid is the club. Even if you love a club, even if you support a club to the day that you die, Real Madrid come calling, it's very hard to say no. It is very, very, very hard to say no. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but there also has to be a bit of these fans need to really look deeper. And as you said with FSG, you can't allow 3 top players' contracts to run to this extent and then expect the players to sign at the very last moment.
And where's the outrage for that? That's the bit I don't get. There's no outrage
for me. It's disrespect. I think it's disrespect.
There's
to
no
let it go
outrage.
into the last. They basically said, look, you can talk to other clubs. So where's like I said it like where's the that is disrespect on them 3 saying, you know, we don't really care about you that much, really. That's what it's saying to me, because you can talk to other clubs if you want to talk to other clubs, and Real Madrid haven't done anything wrong here.
This is the point.
I'd be doing it if I was in Real Madrid's position. I'd have put a bid in.
But that's how you got Virgil. Remember you got Virgil as well. Virgil's been spoken to.
Yeah.
Southampton had to come out and say, look, these lot are trying to take the piss, and they're trying to speak to our player. And then Liverpool had to put out a statement, if you remember, and I think they apologised to Southampton, and then the bid came through anyway. But my point is that there's no outrage from fans at FSG, or there's no, some of these, people that are affiliated very closely to the club, the people that like you said, are going to the training ground or whatever. The Carraghers, who's clearly affiliated with Liverpool Football Club, he can't come out and speak about it. He should though. If he was like, because Gary Neville does it for United. Gary Neville's been doing it how long about the Glazers and all the rest of it. He's been coming out and talking shit about his owners and saying, look, these owners are scandal, they're criminals, they're crooks. Why isn't he doing the same? But he's pushing one player because his excuse was because he could be lifting the Champions League as a Liverpool legend. Trent's already a Liverpool legend. He's won everything. What more can he do? It could
have won way more if it went for the ownership, if I'm honest. And the protection of FSG, you know, guys, like my feelings on FSG, and this whole protection has got to the point where fans like me are being belittled because I have that viewpoint on the ownership, because we have won anything under them or whatever, saying they've made us successful. By the way, if anyone researches the 13 years before FSG, we just won the same amount of trophies in the 13 years before than 13 years of FSG. The only difference is we've won the Premier League. Do the research. We won 2 FA Cups, we won the Champions League, we won the UEFA Cup, we won League Cups a few times. So all this FSG has made us successful is bullshit.
Yeah, it's the same.
We're a successful club. Liverpool built on success, and that's not being entitled or anything like that. And FSG has done fantastic stuff. They've done the training ground, the stand. They've brought Klopp in. They've got football structure underneath. I've always said they like the Glazers, but they've got football structure underneath, which Glazers didn't do. But they are mindful on just business only and money making only. That's what the Glazers were. For me, the whole Trent situation, it was shocking yesterday, and I'll be the first one to say it because I'm the biggest Trent fan out there. But I think this agenda against Trent has been coming from rivals for a long time. But I think Liverpool trying to jump on that. A lot of Liverpool fans are jumping on that now because it looks like he's going to Madrid. I think that's a lazy way to look at it for me.
No, I'd agree. Kojo, what do you think Trent should do in this situation? Because obviously when he came off 83 minutes. He got booked for a pullback on the lit, I think it was, and then he got hooked for Connor Bradley. A couple of the fans, I've seen a couple of videos where they were giving him some verbals as he was coming off, like sitting down on the bench and whatever else. What does Trent do now? What does Arne Slot do now? Does he continue to play him, or does he potentially consider taking him out of the team, put Connor Bradley, take him out of the limelight a little bit?
Play him, play your football. That's it. If he's not done well in training and Connor Bradley deserves to start, Connor Bradley will start. It's that simple. That's how it should work. Nothing should change here. Look, fans are fickle. Fans are very fickle. If by any miracle we today's what, the 6th. If Trent announces today that he's signing a contract with Liverpool, everything will be forgiven.
I don't know, I was going to bring this point. I don't think they will. I think now he's flirted with Real Madrid. I don't think they will.
He has flirted with Real Madrid, but the facts are the reason why he's able to even do this in the first place is because the club have let it get this far.
Oh, I agree. But
so the fact is,
these Scouse fans are different. I'm telling you.
People like Carragher are on national TV saying stuff like, "Oh well, his family must have known the bid was coming in and all that stuff." Well, even if Trent had called Mr. Perez and said, "Hey, Mr. Perez, please don't put a bid in," Mr. Perez would be like, "Who do you think we are?
We're doing it anyway."
What they want to do. And they can make a bid of 20 million or less because he's got 6 months left in his contract. A player of that quality should never go for that kind of fee. But because you let it get this far, he can be bid for by that much, unfortunately. You can absolutely reject it, but you can't be mad at it. So, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm honest, look, he had a bad game. It is what it is.
But who doesn't as well? Do you know what I mean? Like, name a player that plays consistently.
Yeah, if you're not training well, Conor Bradley will play. Conor Bradley's back. He's back from injury, and you know how talented the boy is. He's very good as well. So it's not gonna. We'll miss you, but he's good enough to be in a position where he won't be like a huge detriment losing you like that. So he can play. These things happen, and the reason I said they're fickle is because, and the reason I said that they will love him again is because look, this happens in football all the time. Players will talk to this club. It happens in football. Agents will talk to this club. And people will hear things and they'll think, oh, this guy's disloyal, this, that, and the other. Then he signs the contract. 3 or 4 good games later, I love this guy again. This is what they do. So I'm not surprised.
We had Gerrard shirts burnt, by the way. We had Gerrard shirts burnt because he was going to Chelsea. Until he literally turned around in last second.
It's a different time now. You know why it's different? And shout out to Jamie Phillips as well. I'm going to get to that comment in a second, but it's different now because like social media is a powerful tool. And when it was Gerrard, we didn't have social media as it is now. I don't think, even if he signs a deal, I think Liverpool fans will look at him differently as they did before this whole nonsense came about. For me personally, I don't think there's a way back for him. He can sign a deal. And we don't even know if this is another annoying thing as well. We don't even know if there's negotiations going on. Liverpool might not have even offered him a deal. They might have just said, you know what, we're not going to offer you a deal. And he's kind of being called out for all these things when we don't know what's happening. And I was trying to say this on Twitter the other day and got called a rat for it. But of all things, imagine calling me a rat. Crazy.
This is what I'm saying. Man, needs to focus on the ball because like it all comes out in the end. Now you've got Ashley Cole many years later saying, look, they offered me a contract. I said, yeah, I'll accept it. Then when we came back, they reduced everything and said, we're not going to give you this anymore. You got Van Persie, who was slaughtered for making a move to Man United, and then out of nowhere, they're now hearing an interview that he said, look, I want to stay here, but I just need to know that you're going to bring in better players to improve us so we can push for a title. And the club told him no. So he left. These things happen all the time. And people like Damon and other ones who have their eyes open, Liverpool they've been successful, and they could be even more successful if FSG were really focused on making Liverpool that much better. We sat here on this podcast, bro. We all sat here on this podcast and we all spoke about the fact that why is Klopp leaving? Klopp has what he has at Liverpool. He's built it there. What is the reason of him leaving? It can't be just, I need a break. There has to be an underlying factor here. There has to be something that the board is not letting him do. And you look at the window that Liverpool had under Slot and it tells you a lot. They've got a good team. He's a good manager. He's built on that team, but there's something that they're not doing that Klopp was not happy with. That he left. Klopp is not someone I don't feel like. I don't think he's like a Pep who doesn't win a league title and then just crumbles under the pressure and then takes a sabbatical. Klopp loves the game.
He loves the city. He loved the club. He loved the city.
If anyone remembers, when he was at Dortmund, he even said, if I ever leave this club, the only other club I'd ever consider going to in England is Liverpool because of the similarities. There's a passion there. He doesn't now have that passion and suddenly say, I don't need it anymore. There's something happened there and it's ownership. And that's why Trent is in a situation. That's why Salah's in a situation. And people forget Van Dijk also hasn't got his contract signed yet. There are 3 of the top players that have helped Liverpool become very successful. And you left them being in this scenario. It's an FSG problem. It's not a player problem. They need to wake up.
100%.
Wake up.
Just while we got the chats here, so Jamie Phillips, football chats, has put the problem is Trent put in that performance in after Madrid put their transfer offering. He played like he didn't care. It might be one of. I love Trent, but we all do. We need to sort his future out ASAP. It definitely looks like it's affecting him more than Salah or Virgil van Dijk at the moment. And this is my thing. I think it is affecting him, which is why I think he put in a really bad performance yesterday. But for the fans to get on top of him, moan that he puts in a bad performance, moan that he can talk to clubs, moans that the offers coming in from another club, I don't see how anyone can not point the finger at FSG for that. Because if that contract...
This is the same battle I've been battling for 4 years.
But if the contract's signed...
I'm tired, mate. I'm absolutely tired.
If they offered him a deal that was lucrative, that is what he wants, and that Salah wants, and Virgil van Dijk wants, none of this happens. We wouldn't even be calling him out for anything. Obviously, I don't call him out for anything, but certain Liverpool fans are calling him out for this and that. It wouldn't be happening because surely you want to secure your three best, like coaches, the three best players at the club. You want to secure those deals down before we even get to this point where we're sat here talking about where is he going to end up. Like, it wouldn't even be happening. To let Mo Salah go and the goals and assists that he puts in for Liverpool, to me personally, if that happens, I said it a couple of months ago, that would be the worst free transfer in history of football.
Unforgivable. And the thing is, right, mate, these people that protect FSG to the point where it's just beyond weird for me now. That they blame everyone else but FSG. Even when Klopp got all the power, and yeah, Klopp shouldn't have had the power, and he bought Nunes, he did that, he took over the thing. But who gave him the power? Even that, into the point of like, who gave him the power? He didn't give himself the power.
What do you think on Nunes? What do you think on Nunes? Because I feel that he's a player that, again, if I was going to direct any anger towards a player, if I was a Liverpool fan, I'm looking at someone like Robertson, who's consistently, for me, been really poor for Liverpool. I might be wrong, but Nunes, 3 years at the club, not really showing any signs of progression. I'm looking at him. I'd even say Alisson, since he came back. I would have put Carragher in goal yesterday, if I'm honest as well. I don't think Alisson's been that good of a goalkeeper as he has been over the seasons. Carragher, I thought, has been really good. I've always said he's too good to be a number 2. Like for me personally, it just seems like there's one agenda against Trent because he's a local lad from Liverpool, and that's what it comes down to, which is fine. But let the boy play his football, because all you're doing is causing more. I don't know. Let's go back to Nunes. Let me ask you both. What do you think on Nunes? Is he good enough to be at Liverpool?
Quick answer, no. And that happens. That happens. No, that happens. It's just not good enough for Liverpool. That happens. It is a waste of money. It's just some of the things he does is just stupid. Like even the elbow. Yeah, what is he doing? Another one. Chiesa was just a cheap option. That's all the money we probably had to spend. So we just got a cheap option. It's a good buy if he's fit. He's a good buy because he's a class player on his day. But that's what we've got to do under FSG. We've got to look at the bargain bin.
What do you think,
That's the only thing we could do, and that's that we have these $500,000 signings down then because it's panic buyers or it's just another $500,000. That's what it is. And people say, we never get our buyers wrong out like that. Look at $500,000. Look at Chiesa. We've got Ben Davis and Kabak when we lost our defence. We got Ben Davis and Kabak. Yeah. We're top of the league, by the way. Back at that point, we're top of the league. We're happy with Ben Davis and Kabak, and everyone said, that's it. What else can we do? We're waiting for Canate. But we're through a season, and this is what we do under FSG. We've got to throw seasons because, and I swear, these FSG inners or whatever they are, these protectors, they better pray that we don't ruin the season. They better pray because it is all on them. They've got nowhere to hide anymore after that. But the Nunes situation, I'm past Nunes now. If I'm honest, he's not got more support than anyone in this fan base. He's had numerous chances, even like a new manager, see if he does better. And we got told from a lot of people that I really love Nunes, a bit like the FSG thing, when they protect him to the end. They were saying it was Klopp's system that let him down. Klopp's system don't make him miss from 1 yard. Make him miss one on one. So
there's certain things you can't really teach a player. Whether the system, it's not a system-based issue. It's more the player issue, isn't it? So Jamie's put in the chat there, Nunes was a poor signing, never really suited us. He's also put here that Robbo has been a fantastic servant to our club, but his time has come to an end. Why can't Trent get the same sort of send off though? That's my point. I think that's why I'm up.
He's because Trent's born and bred, my guy. That's,
But
Yeah,
it's
it's
just,
emotions, isn't it? It's emotions.
but it's frustrating me. I'm not even a Liverpool fan, and it annoys me that. Like, why can't we just say right? So I think I said last week when Eden Hazard left, it was under different situation, different circumstances. We had Arsenal, Baku, Europa League final. We knew he was going to Real Madrid. It was the worst kept secret. We knew he was going, but we patted him on the back and we clapped him and applauded him to Spain. Like, we wanted him to stay. We wanted him to sign a deal. We were gutted that we were losing him, but we wanted him to stay at the club. But he left. And I can't understand for the life of me why Trent can't just get the same. You've won everything. You're a local lad. Go in and get your La Liga title. Come back as a Liverpool coach one day. Enjoy your football. I don't understand why we can't do that. Well, Kojo, you kind of hit the nail on the head there.
You have to stay as part of the furniture, my guy. If we developed you as a youngster, you better stay here. You can't go anywhere else. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. Like, even using the excuse of Rashford, the example, sorry, of Rashford. Like, obviously he's not been in great form. He's not been anywhere near the form that Trent has shown in the last couple of years for Liverpool. So it's not even the same. But I can also argue that we've had a lot of players that Man United now love, past players that have committed a lot worse in the club. I mean, our all-time top goal scorer put in a transfer request because he's going to move to the city rivals. Guys, just because he's born there doesn't mean he owes you anything.
No, not at all.
It's his career. And if he feels like he needs to go somewhere else now, after a long time at Liverpool, where he's won so much, he's achieved so much with the club. In fact, he's won everything with the club that he can win. It's his dream club. But if he feels like he needs to go to Madrid and achieve something there, wish him well. He's not done anything terrible. And a bad game doesn't now mean he's now horrendous.
Well,
and you don't listen to Roy Keane saying that he would play for transfer.
But even that done my head in as well, because it's like people say things on Sky Sports for those little sound bites. They love a little sound bite, Sky, don't they? So saying that is just stupid. Oh, he plays for Tranmere Rovers. Fuck off, man. That's
I get it from Neville and Keane, because I think they're trying to push him away from Liverpool. They want him gone, and that tells you the talent that he actually is.
I don't think.
Honestly, the way Gary Neville goes on about it though, is like, yeah, you got to understand why he wants to go to Real Madrid, and Keane's like, yeah, just if he wants to go to Real Madrid, let him go to Real Madrid.
Yeah, but it's like they're right though. Like they let him go.
They're pushing that for it to happen. Yeah, they're pushing that for it to happen. But as a Liverpool fan, if I played for Liverpool for say 200k a week and I was getting offered 400k a week at Real Madrid, I wouldn't leave Liverpool as a Liverpool fan. I think that's the only thing I don't get in terms of Trent. But I get the overhaul because I'm looking at FSG more so, and I'm getting why surely he's questioning the ambitions of the club, and even like this season not buying anyone. And this is why I think Van Dijk and Salah have had doubts over the club as well. And Van Dijk's come out and said, look, we need some signings sometimes. We need some help. It's going to be a long season, and we don't get them. They're going to question it. As a fan, I'm questioning it. So why should I expect them not to question it? But so if he does go, I'll be like, I don't think I'd hate him. I think I'd be like, I understand it, but as a Liverpool fan, I don't know why you'd want to go. Does that make sense?
No, it does from a Liverpool fan perspective, of course. But listen, we can go around in circles on it. I just think personally, we gotta blame FSG for this situation, not the player, not Trent because he's a local lad. That's not a reason to stay at the club. Offer him what he wants, or you are running the risk of losing one of your best players at the club. To me, that's what it comes down to. If that's poor management because you wanted to sort out Arne Slot's contract, or you wanted to find Klopp's replacement, which was Arne Slot, then that's fine. But at the same time as well, there's people that are employed at that football club to make sure that those contracts do not run down to 6 months or 0 month contract or whatever. There's people in positions that are paid a lot of money to make sure that does not happen. Whoever that is, they're failing at their job first of all.
Sorry, 1 second. I'll be honest. I think that's what they wanted.
Well, maybe.
I think they were happy to let him go, especially Salah and Van Dijk at the ages, because they've got a certain way of looking at things. If the ages, I think they were happy to let Salah and Van Dijk go, and it's just unfortunate for them that Van Dijk and Salah have stepped up again this season.
Maybe, but I don't know. Before we move on very quickly, we wrap up. But just that comment there. Never been a massive fan Trent fan like some. He's a fantastic player on the ball. He's class at the side of the game, but his application to defending winds me up. Now, come to you first, Kojo. Who can you see coming in? Also, we know Conor Bradley potentially will be the next player to come through at Liverpool on the right side, but left side, I mean, like Jamie said in the chat, you know, Robbo's time is up. Who can you see Liverpool going out to try and get? Obviously, Anthony Robertson's there. You got your man.
I think for one of Anthony Robertson, Carragher, or they could put their hat in for Davies on a free transfer from Bayern.
Yes.
And considering how we've all spoken about how FSG operate, they would love a free transfer, wouldn't they? Love to spend money, just bring him in and deal with his wages, a little signing on fee, a little agent fee, and you're done. But I think those would be the free targets, and it makes sense. It makes sense. They will be good additions to the team. So, if you ask me for who I think they should get out of the three, I'd say Robinson from Fulham. That'd be the one I'd pick out of the three.
Yeah, I'd agree. What do you reckon, Damon? Do you reckon the same?
I reckon we'll go back for Jose Enrique out of retirement. Whatever the cheapest possible way of doing it is, I think. I mean, a lot of us said we needed a left back in summer because we saw the drop off of Robbo coming. It's exactly what happened with Fabinho when we needed a DM before he left, and we're still looking for a DM, by the way, 4 years later on. But this is what we do. We run players into the ground, and then the drop off in front of our eyes. And I hate watching this Robbo thing because he's an absolute legend in the club, one of my favourite players. And it's awful to watch because it's not his fault. At the end of the day, his legs have relied a lot on his legs, and they're going. And we're never prepared for it. We're always reactive rather than proactive, and that is what happens.
And that's a good shout. That's a good thing that, you know, some clubs, I look at, maybe that's why we've stockpiled our players at Chelsea. It hasn't really worked, but we've slowly seen signs of it where we've stockpiled our players. We've got players, you know, 2 players in each position, essentially. Maybe that's why we've done that. So if one option doesn't work, we've got someone else that can come in. We haven't got to go out and look for someone. I'm not saying that's the right answer to do things, but it seems to be the way that Chelsea are trying to model their way. City have done something similar previous years. They've always had someone to come through, or they've got someone in the pipeline to come through and replace another player. But Basil's just put here, we can't get away from this Trent conversation, can we? I question whether Trent is the right signing for Real Madrid, considering how the Mbappe move has worked out. Carvajal offers balance defensively and offensively. Will Trent Alexander-Arnold become a hindrance? I'll leave that both to you to answer.
Why hasn't the Mbappe move worked out?
You have to ask Basil. I get his point. I think obviously we've so. And I'm kind of trying to answer for Basil, so Basil, throw something in the chat. But for me personally, I think, and I haven't watched much of Real Madrid, so when I have watched Real Madrid, I don't think the Mbappe that we expected that has been lighting up the PSG's Liga. I don't think he's done that for Real Madrid, and I think he has found it very difficult to fit into that Real Madrid squad. I'm not saying that he's not playing well now or he's not scoring goals, so I think he is, but I think it took a while for him to make that adjustment.
I do hear that side of the argument. I won't deny that, but I think sometimes expectations are a bit over the top. Sometimes he's got 1 and 2. That's not bad. They're top of the league. Obviously, the Champions League's a disaster class for them right now. So that's where, you know, and people know Real Madrid and Champions League. That's their thing. So obviously that's not been great. But I don't think they've lost ultimate balance. I think they've just taken a long time to find their balance, especially on that right side with there you go. On that right side with Rodrigo. I think I keep saying, I said it from early, if they're going to keep balancing that team, Rodrigo must start on the right, Vinicius on the left, and Mbappe up top, and they'll find a way to work through. And as long as you have the midfield and the defense sort of where they're supposed to be, they'll be fine. But you know, that's just my view on it anyway. I don't think he's done phenomenal, but I don't think he's done poorly. That's just my opinion. On his point about Carvajal and so when Madrid sometimes sit back and defend, obviously I think everyone knows I've been quite vocal on how Trent has defended. I've also been quite vocal in general how defenders defend. I don't think defenders are really good anymore these days. You've got a select few that actually know how to defend, and the rest are a shit show. But Trent hasn't been. If anyone's really watched Trent in the last 2 years, he hasn't been that bad defensively. Come on, now, guys. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. He's been a lot better than people give him credit for. It's not fair now. So he's not an utter disaster. He's not phenomenal at it, but again, I'm going to keep saying it. Which fullback is these days? Which centre back is these days? Apart from the select 5 or 6 that we can talk about consistently, being at the top level. So I think he'll be okay. Real Madrid obviously want to control games, and they're looking to build a team where they just ultimately destroy teams from start to finish, and they can create from all different angles. And that's what they used to have with Marcelo on the left. Obviously, Mendy's not part of he's not part of that class. They used to have that with Carvajal, younger Carvajal on the right. They started playing Vasquez there, Valverde there at some point. So they're obviously trying to make a point and get someone that can ping passes. He's the one. We see it. So, we'll see what happens with that. But I don't think they'll lose balance. You just need to select your team carefully, and you'll be okay. Where would you be fine? They'll be fine.
Well, I think the same. I do think the same. Before we wrap up, then, what we got here? So Mbappe, yeah, not the guy, heavily overrated by what Jamie's saying in the chat as well. I think it would work out. I think it would work out very, very well. So we'll have to see. But last words, Kojo, is Trent leaving? Is he going?
Oh yeah, he's gone.
Damon, is he going?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he is.
I'd have to agree with both of you there. But listen, let us know what you think in the chat, in the comments. Is he going to go for free? Is he going to go in this window? Is he going to go at the end of the summer? We don't know. But let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like the video. Share your thoughts below. Make sure you hit the audio version of the podcast as well. Kojo, Damon, thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Until next time, we're out. We're done.